Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for tuning in today. I'm Aja Goare. The Senate is in the midst of debate on immigration reform. The process is open-ended, which means all proposals will be considered, and the one to win the 60 votes necessary to pass will move forward. CBS's Aja Zhang has more.
The Senate is opening the floor to allow anyone to make a proposal on immigration reform.
And then we'll see whether or not they have the votes to support it. So this is an open, amendable process, which, as you all know, many of you have been around here a lot longer than me, doesn't happen that often.
Republicans are pushing a bill from Senators Chuck Grassley, John Cornyn, and Tom Cotton. The Secure and Succeed Act would give a path to citizenship for nearly 2 million undocumented immigrants, fund border security and the border wall with $25 billion, limit family-based immigration, and eliminate the diversity visa lottery.
It's the one bill that can become law. We shouldn't be focused on passing a bill out of the Senate. We should be focused on passing a law, something that can get the majority vote of the House and that President Trump is willing to sign.
And that will be an uphill battle, finding a bill that Democrats will support, but can also win over President Trump and the more conservative House members.
President Trump tweeted this morning, Republicans want to make a deal and Democrats say they want to make a deal. Wouldn't it be great if we could finally, after so many years, solve the DACA puzzle?
Well, this is a very difficult issue. We're all aware of that. But we can get something done. We're on the verge.
The DACA program, which shields undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children from deportation, expires March 5th. Aja Zhang, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says the House will not vote on any plan that the president does not support. This flu season is already one of the worst on record, and experts say it hasn't even reached its peak. The Centers for Disease Control reports 1 in 10 deaths in the U.S. are currently caused by influenza or pneumonia. More than 60 children have died from the flu, including a 5-year-old girl from Brooklyn and a 3-year-old Indiana girl who died yesterday. 17,000 people have been hospitalized nationwide for the virus. We haven't seen statistics like this since the 2009 H1N1 swine flu pandemic. More than 40 school districts in 13 states have closed because of the virus. Firefighters in Butte endured sub-zero temperatures this morning as they worked to extinguish a house fire. Crews were called to a home at 520 Dakota Street around 5 a.m. Firefighters arrived to find flames and heavy smoke coming from the second floor. The extreme cold turned the water from the hoses to ice almost immediately, but crews ultimately stamped out the flames. No injuries were reported, and the cause of this fire remains under investigation. A mechanical failure is blamed for sparking a fire in a locomotive hauling a train near Clinton on Sunday. Montana Rail Link reports the mechanical failure resulted in unburnt fuel entering the exhaust stack and igniting. The train crew moved the locomotive to a safe distance from the train while they awaited emergency responders. Once the fuel shutoff system was engaged, the fire died out. No one was injured. Well, under pressure from the town council, the newly elected mayor of Stevensville is stepping down from his position with the fire department. Council members leveled the demand Monday, pressing Mayor Brandon Dewey to step aside as the fire department's administrative assistant and volunteer firefighter. The council claims the two roles create a conflict of interest. The fire chief offered an emotional statement in support of keeping Dewey with the department, but the council decided to call for Dewey's resignation from that fire department. Dewey called the request a, quote, personal attack, but ultimately agreed Monday to resign. Cities and counties across Montana will soon receive additional road maintenance money thanks to a 2017 increase in the state fuel tax. State transportation officials say that fuel tax increase raised about $6 million, money that local governments can apply to use March 1st. Those funds are in addition to the $17 million already allocated for local governments' roads and street maintenance. Billings will receive the biggest chunk of funds with $655,000, while the town of Rexford in northwestern Montana gets the least with $1,100, that is. Flathead County will receive $180,000, the most of any county. The state tax on gasoline increased 4.5 cents a gallon last year and 1.5 cents per gallon on diesel fuel. A proposal for a 60-home subdivision in Seeley Lake is raising questions about taxes. The development would use resources in Missoula County but pay taxes to Powell County. Some community members are concerned that residents of the proposed development would be living in Powell County but using Seeley Lake and Missoula County for their everyday lives. The proposed subdivision would sit roughly a quarter of a mile northeast of the Seeley Lake Airport and fall on the border of the two counties. The big questions on many Seeley Lake residents' minds are how can they work with Powell County to share expenses of the 60 new families potentially moving into this area. Montana state law banning automated political phone calls known as robocalls will stand. A Michigan-based political consulting firm challenged Montana's ban, arguing it's an unconstitutional prohibition on free speech. But a federal judge in Helena ruled that the ban is an allowable protection of privacy because phones are private property. However, the ban hasn't stopped consultants or candidates from using such calls in Montana. The law is enforced by county attorneys who apparently have never prosecuted anyone for violating it. Still ahead on the noon news, time to loosen up the belt because today is Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. We'll take you to New Orleans for the big parade. But first, Ed has weather. Stay with us.
You're watching MTN News with Aja Goare. Storm Tracker weather with Ed McIntosh and farm and ranch news from the Northern Egg Network. This is the new